Hello guys. So yesterday I uploaded a video about the IPM Rohtak's result analysis. If you haven't checked it out yet, so you may as well consider doing that. But in that video, I made a mention of the education loan policies or what are the options available to you. Some people wanted me to elaborate more on that. Hence, I am coming up with a video which is dedicated only towards education loan process in India. Keep in mind that I am going to take IPM program as a reference point, IPM program of IIM Rohtak and IIM Indore, because that is what my audience is. However, the process by and large remains the same for other institutions as well. Yes, the quantum, the collateral offered, or the interest rate may differ from institute to institute, but by and large the process remains the same. So this is Saksham, you're watching One Gyan. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, before we start our video, I want you to be familiar with some key terms. One is quantum. Quantum is basically the sum of money that is being offered to you as a loan, right? So let's say, for example, if I have applied for a loan for 20 lakhs, so 20 lakhs is going to be my quantum. Then the collateral. Collateral is basically the security you are offering against a loan. So as you would already know that if you go for any other loan other than education loan, you in most of the cases you will have to offer some collateral against your loan, right? So that the bank has a security. If in case you default, they are going to take up the ownership of that the asset that you have offered as a collateral. However, in education loan, we are mostly looking at options wherein we don't have to like submit a collateral to the bank. So we are going to look forward to those options as well. Then the repayment period is basically how long are you going to take to repay your loan. Then the moratorium period is basically the repayment holiday that is provided to you. See how the interest payment or how the EMI payment works for education loan is different than other type of loans. Reason being, in an education loan, you effectively start repaying your loan after you are done with studies. But even when you are done with your studies, they also give you about 6 to 12 months of moratorium period. If in case you don't have a job or you don't get placed, so you are given a 6 to 12 month period so that you can find one and then start your repayment. So moratorium period is basically that repayment holiday given to you. Then MCLR. This is very important. So MCLR is basically marginal cost of fund based lending rate. So your interest rate is tied to MCLR. It is nothing but a flooring which is provided by the central bank to other public banks. As in, this is the minimum amount of interest that you'll have to charge. So in the floating interest rate system, MCLR plus certain base points are considered when providing a loan to you. So that is how the interest rate works. I'll discuss about it in my later slides. Now the quantum. So quantum for your education loan, if you're seeking an education loan for up to 7.5 lakhs, it won't be a problem because you won't be asked for any collateral and you can apply for any college. No matter of in what college you have an admit in, you will get a loan of up to 7.5 lakhs easily. Not actually easily, but still getting a no collateral loan up till 7.5 lakhs is easier when compared to loans of higher quantum. Now, if you're looking for loans for more than 7.5 lakhs, in that case, usually the bank will ask you for a collateral. However, if you're studying in premier institutions of the country, depending on the rankings, you may as well be offered an option to not provide a collateral. If we talk of SBI Scholar Loan in particular, they have no collateral limit. For IIM Indore, you can get a loan up to 40 lakhs without offering a collateral. For IIM Rohtak, it is up to 20 lakhs. How do you check it? Nothing, just you go to their website. Over here there is this section. So in the eligibility option, I think it should be there. Yes, so selected premier rated institution. So this document will open up. So up to 40 lakhs without any tangible collateral security, it is available for these particular institutes. Then there is this list A institutes. So IIM Rohtak is in the list A. You can see it is over here. So for list A institutes, list A institutions, you have up to 20 lakhs without tangible collateral security, and if you want a loan up to 30 lakhs, then you'll have to submit a tangible collateral in, security, right? So that is what primarily how much your loan quantum will be is by and large dependent on what institutions are you applying to. Because say for example, if you go and try to take a loan for any mediocre private university, private college, in that case the bank will cap the maximum loan that you get to 7.5 lakhs. Post that, they'll ask you for a collateral, which not everyone has. But if you are studying in a premier institution of the country, be it an IIM, be it an IIT, in that case you get, like, getting an education loan becomes a little bit easier. Now that was about the quantum. You can as well check the quantum. It depends on the bank. So for example, SBI has a cap of up to 20 lakhs for IIM Rohtak. On the contrary, ICICI has a cap of like 40 lakhs. Central Bank of India has a cap of 30 lakhs. So it depends on the bank. So you'll have to go to their website and check it by yourself for your particular institution. Now the application process. So you start applying after you get an admit. Now some people ask me that you might have to pay a commitment fee, or at least the first year fee, when you are trying to block your seat. In that case, you cannot really get a loan that quickly so as to pay that commitment fee or your first year fee using a loan. The process is going to take some time. So usually in ideal cases, what happens is that you pay the fee by yourself, you arrange the finances somehow, you apply for a loan later on, then once the loan gets approved, you get all your fee reimbursed. So that is how the process is going to work. Now, if you go to any bank, they will ask you to apply via the Vidya Lakshmi portal, which was created by government specifically to cater to students for helping them get education loan easier. Now you can as well directly apply through Vidya Lakshmi portal, but I would always recommend you to go to the bank first, discuss everything with them, and then they will themselves ask you to apply through Vidya Lakshmi portal, and you do that. Now keep all your documents ready. Again, document list, you can as well find it on bank websites. So you need documents for the student as well as parent. Now there are certain, like, basic documents are required, that is something you can check on the website itself, but there are certain like documents that I want to emphasize on. That is, your proof of admission and entrance test result is required. So like for example, if I take my own example, when I got an admit in IIM Rohtak, I tried applying for a loan in the in one of the banks, and they asked me for a proof of admission. So I showed them the emails, I showed them all the documents that I had, but for them it was not enough. What they wanted me to do is to go to the institution, ask them on their letterhead to write it down that I have passed so and so entrance, I got this much marks, and I have been admitted to this program, and this is going to be my fee for the next 5 years. In many cases, your institute might be reluctant to provide you with that information. Let's say, for example, if I talk of my own case, in like our entrance results are not disclosed if you get the admit. So again, the bank might want you to provide that proof, but your institute might have a conflicting interest, so you'll have to manage that. And there is a solution to that, which I'll discuss later on. Then your parents' ITR and salary proof or business proof is also required. So unless you are applying for education loan in the topmost institution of country, let's say for example, if you are applying for IIM Indore, in that case, even though they will ask you for ITR and salary proof, it will only be there for the formality. Otherwise, they won't really consider it to provide you the loan. But on the other hand, if you're applying for any other college other than those AA rated institutions, your parents' CIBIL, your parents' past credit history is going to matter. So you have to make sure that your parent has any of your parent has a CIBIL score of at least 650, because if your score is below that, in that case you are not even eligible to apply, but preferably it should be above 750. That is what is considered as a good score, right? So make sure that you already have an idea of what your parent CIBIL score is. You can check it on Paytm app, or there are n number of apps wherein you can check it. But yes, unless you are applying for the best of the best in the country, you will have to make sure that your parents credit background is also like fine, and otherwise you might have to face problems later on while applying for. So talking about the Vidya Lakshmi portal, so this is going to be your portal, and you have to fill in the application form over here, and then you can use that application form to apply for multiple banks, but you always apply for one bank at a time, because that may as well affect your CIBIL score if you're making multiple hard entries, right? So you need to keep that in mind. Then you can just search and apply for loan from over here, but I would always suggest you to first go to the bank, confirm everything, and then apply. So your location of study, your course. So if you're going for IPM, you select post graduation and your loan amount, and then you search for it. Then over here you can just check the details and other things, and then you can apply. After you are done applying, you can go to the application status, and from here you can check things up. So I have not applied using this particular ID, but I have actually applied for one loan from my other ID, and the application status shows over here. So once you are done filling in the form, you'll either get a call from the bank, or you can as well go to them and inquire them about the same. So that was about it. Now that is how your application process is going to be. Now it depends again on the institution and various other factors, but by and large the process is going to be like that only. Now the interest rate, as I've already said, it is going to be a floating interest rate. It is going to be dynamic, not static. It is going to be tied to the MCLR. Now interest rate also varies on a lot of factors. It depends on the bank you're applying to. Let's say for example, if you apply for a private sector bank, they'll ask you for at least 10% interest. On the contrary, a public sector bank may as well offer you a loan at 7-8% of interest. Now it also depends on the loan amount. If you ask for a higher amount and you are not as credit worthy to them, in that case they are going to charge you a bit more. And the same point applies in the security offered. If you are not credit worthy enough, like your credit worthiness is not enough in their eyes, or if you're not offering any collateral, in that case they will ask you for a little higher interest rate. And as well as it also depends on your institution, like it mainly depends on your institution. So if you are applying for a loan after getting an admit in IIM Ahmedabad, the interest that they are going to charge you is going to be less when compared to, let's say for example, if you are applying for a loan after getting into, let's say, IIM Rohtak, right? So it is going to be low for public sector banks and high for the private ones, as I've already said. For IIMs, it is usually MCLR plus 0.2 to 1%. So it depends, MCLR, it depends on the year or the financial year, and it also depends on the prevailing economic conditions. According to that, RBI sets it up every month, I think, and according to it fluctuates. So you also might have a 1% concession if you make interest payment during your study period. I'm only talking about the interest portion and not the EMIs. But I think from what I have heard, this particular concession has been eliminated. So public sector banks do not offer it anymore, but you can as well check it with your bank. There is some extra concession for girls which you might as well look forward to. So if I, for example, go to your SBI Scholar Loan, which is like by far the most popular for education loans, you can as well see the interest rate from over here. Let me just check. Yes. So over here you can see that there is a 0.5% concession in interest for girl students. So if you are a female candidate, you may as well look for these and accordingly get the lowest possible interest rate. You can see that currently if you go for SBI Scholar Loan, the 1 month MCLR is 6.7%. For AA rated institution, the effective interest rate is 6.9%, and for A rated institutions it's 7.05. So effectively you are going to get for IIM Indore the loan at 6.9% currently, and for IIM Rohtak it is going to be 7.05%. Also keep in mind that these interests will fluctuate. As I've already said, it is a floating interest rate and not a static interest rate. So that was it about the interest rate. Now the repayment. So your repayment, as I've already said, starts after you are done with your studies. Also, even when you are after done with your studies, you can either just start paying right after you get placed, or if in case you did not get placed, they also give you a repayment holiday, what they call is which is what they call a moratorium period, in which you have an option to defer your payments by 6 to 12 months post study completion. It depends on the bank. For example, SBI offers a 12-month moratorium, but some other banks might as well offer you a 6-month moratorium. Now again, as I've already said, the bank may provide you a 1% concession if you pay the interest due while studying, but from what I know, this particular concession was scrapped last year itself, but you need to check it with your bank. The maximum repayment period is going to be 15 years, so that is how long you can take to actually repay the loan. But again, it differs from bank to bank. For SBI, it is 15 years, but for some other private sector banks, it may as well be around 10 to 12 years or even less. So it totally depends on the bank and quantum, and a lot of factors come into play. But by and large, it is going to be dependent on the bank you are applying to. So the main question that I get asked is it easy? And I think this is one of the biggest myths floating around in the market. People just make it sound so easy, but the actual case is not like that. I have myself applied for education loan twice. The process wasn't smooth at all, and at the end of the day, my parents chose to pay the fee all by themselves and not opt for a loan. So see, it is just like that, that if you are trying to, like, if you're giving your money out to the bank, they're all nice and good people, but when it comes to asking for money, asking for loan, the behavior or the treatment that you get is not the same, because they will assess your credit worthiness. As you might already know, NPA is a big problem in India, so they want security of their capital, right? Now it depends on a lot of various factors, one of which is the institute you're enrolled in. So let's say, for example, if you get an admit in IIM Ahmedabad, the loan process for you will be a breeze, just because they don't have to check your credit worthiness. Your institute in itself is providing them an assurity that yes, once the person graduates from over here, he will be in a position to pay back the loan. So if your institute is good, in that case you won't have any problem. If I again take example of IIM Indore, in that case your parents CIBIL and all those things don't really matter much. Those are just a matter of formality, but they won't take it into account to check your credit worthiness. But for other institutes, yes, they will check that as well. So yes, your CIBIL score of your parents matter a lot, unless you are studying in such an esteemed institution that your institution in itself provides an assurance that yes, the person will be placed at a good package and will be able to pay back the loan. Now the ITR value is also like your the how easy the process is going to be is also dependent on the ITR value. ITR is basically the income tax return of your parents. So the banks might ask you for 2 or 3 years of past ITRs, income tax returns. So let's say, for example, if you're asking for a loan of 25 lakhs, particularly in private banks, they would want you to show a combined family income of at least 10 lakhs. And that is when they're going to provide you a loan of 25 lakhs. Otherwise, the quantum is going to be a little less. And then again, the loan amount, if you're asking for just 7 or 7.5 lakhs, in that case, getting a loan is a little bit easier. The process in itself won't be it still won't be smooth, but it will still be a little easier when compared to asking for a loan of worth, let's say, 20 lakhs. Now the collateral offered, if you're offering a collateral, in that case getting a loan is easy but also hard at the same time, because for everything you offer as a collateral, you'll have to present the papers for every asset that you own. So again, it becomes a bit of a hassle, but at the end of the day, getting a loan, the likeliness of you getting a loan becomes higher when you offer a collateral, but that is not an option for most of us. So that is why the focus of this video was getting a no collateral loan. So definitely it is easier if you are studying in a really good institution, and by that I mean the AA rated. Even the A rated institution, if you are studying in an A rated institution, in that case as well they will check your parents CIBIL. It won't matter as much, but still it will matter. So make sure it is at least 650 and above. So the more it is, the better it will be. Now, which bank should you prefer? So SBI by far is the best for education loans. If you have the option, just go for SBI. You don't have to look any further. They know how to, like, they deal specifically in education loans since a long time, and they know how the process works. Generally what I've seen is that in some places the bank managers themselves, because they don't deal with education loans so often, they don't themselves know about the exact procedure, and that is the problem that you might have to face. So in that case, SBI is by far the best. Go for public banks or public sector banks whenever possible, because although if you just go with a, let's say, a private bank, you might have that benefit of getting a faster processing, so they can as well process a loan in 3 to 7 days also. But on the contrary, they might have hidden charges, they might have a higher interest rate, and please keep in mind that even a difference of 1% in interest rate is a lot because of the compounding effect. So if you are paying 10% in let's say for example SBI and 11 in ICICI, it is not just 1% difference, it is essentially 10% difference in your entire interest payment, right? And that too is compounded annually. So that is going to be a big hassle. So always just try to get the best deal possible in wherever bank you are applying, whichever bank you are applying, and you, in most of the cases, you are going to get a better deal in a public sector bank. Also, one another option that you have is ask your institute if they have any ties with any bank. Let's say, for example, IIM Indore has a campus, in their campus they have a branch of SBI. So getting a loan from SBI is easier in IIM Indore. Why? Because half of the documents the bank can just verify with the institute themselves. They know the process better. They are specialized in providing loans for that particular institution. So the process just becomes a little bit easier. When I talk of IIM Rohtak, we have ICICI's branch over here in our campus. So again, getting a loan from ICICI will be a little easier when compared to SBI if you are an IIM Rohtak student. So you may as well check with your institute that if they have any previous ties with any bank. Now, if your parents have any existing relationship with the bank, then you can as well inquire with them. Let's say, for example, my father has an account in, let's say, a Bank of India. So I might as well go to Bank of India and inquire about the same, because when you already know the manager, you have good relationship over there. The chances of you getting a loan, or the process is in general is going to be smooth in that case. So you can as well keep in mind about that. And I have already covered the last point, that if you are going with a private sector bank, they will offer you a faster processing, but that will come at a cost of hidden charges and a higher interest rate. If I talk of public sector bank, usually the processing period might be about 1 to 2 weeks, but it can as well like last for up to 1 2 months as well. It depending on the situation, depending on your credit worthiness, depending on the collateral you are offering, and a lot of factors come into play. So that is why I always recommend you to just arrange your finances for the commitment fee and the first year fee, then go ahead and apply for the loan. And it will, the process will last for at least a week and up until 1 or 2 months. After, once you are done, once your application is accepted, you will be reimbursed back all that amount, so that won't be an issue for you later on. But initially you'll have to keep your finances ready. So thank you for listening to me patiently. Although I feel that I've covered most of the points, but if you still have a question in your mind which I did not cover, you can leave it down in the comment section or reach out to me on my social handles. If you find the video helpful, then please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And you may as well consider it sharing it with your colleagues or your peers, whoever may find this video helpful. So that was it from my side. Have a good day.